Hello, it is a dark episode for December the 7th, 2024. And yes, tonight was our second MDMA night after a good 6 month break. And I think the results were somewhat mixed. Um, And I'd like to just start off by saying I'm not going to do my usual thing, which is it's all me, blame, 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 me, blame, blame, blame. I am a part of a contributing factor in the night. I don't think going particularly that well for Ja. It was really flooding for her. And a part of that maybe was the music. Maybe that was going up to the truck parade beforehand. That was a pretty minor thing at the beginning with crowds and walking and stuff like that. So there was that. But I think my downfall was that I last time when I had the MDMA, I was quiet for a good hunk of the beginning, pretty quiet. And part of that was kind of just nausea and just kind of sitting in myself with it. Where this time walking out to the thing, I came into it there. I didn't experience the nausea, which I guess in itself is a good thing, but as a result, I wasn't particularly quiet. Didn't have that quiet period. I kind of went from my usual kind of very expressive, talkative self to that enhanced, as they was put. It's like, more so, more talking, more da da da, thinking out loud, and probably some of it wasn't as coherent as other parts. I mean, sort of like when I talk on here, sometimes I think it's coherent, but I have a feeling someone reading back to it isn't going to particularly get everything. But I think the main point is that there was a lot of it, and I have a kind of projecting voice where I'm declaiming, and I think I did a lot of declaiming tonight. And as a result, Ja kind of got quieter and quieter and quieter. Me talking a mile a minute, the music going, stuff like that. Just her own space. She had a thing with kind of what she was doing. She was not doing MDMA. She was doing just some happy pot stuff like that. And I don't think it was working at first. And then suddenly they got it to work for her. And suddenly it's like she took way too hard of a drag on it. And she was just coughing like fucking crazy. And I have a feeling that was the last time she did that. So she never really got anything that way. And yeah, it was just too much for her. And unfortunately, the other part of that is that um I'm kind of like, I'm talking mile a minute. I'm da 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 da, kind of doing all that, my own processing. Some of which was good, some of which was just for talk's sake, because I'm talking. I don't have the stop on, or and more. I'm feeling kind of over relaxed that way, I guess. It's not that I was out of control or anything. It's just that's my propensity, is to talk and think. Surprise, surprise. Having taken a look at any of these videos or listened to any of the videos on this channel, I kind of like to hear the sound of my own voice. I kind of like to hear the sound of my own voice because it's kind of the way I think things out. Sure, it's egotistical too, but it's also just like, how can you tell that Jay's not thinking? Well, his mouth isn't moving. So I guess I can be a thoughtful guy because I talk shit, a whole shit, whether it's anything of use or not, stuff or not, whatever. But that said, I also am very attuned to Ja. And so when I see Ja getting smaller and smaller, I think, oh, she's pushing herself to a side. She's not involved in the thing. I want her to help her be involved in the thing. I want to give her the space. Whereas what she needed was a little fucking peace and quiet, a little bit of space from probably music there, which she can't kind of control because someone else is control the music. I mean, she could ask, and I'm sure they would have turned down. But you're being the party. I would assume you'd feel like you're the party pooper if you're the person doing that, and you have me who's being very attentive and clutching and trying to like kind of, oh, are you okay? I want you to be a part. Or not a part, but I want you to be comfortable. And it was just way too much for her, way too much for her. So I I don't think necessarily that um I'm not like bashing myself over it. I just wish that I had noticed that. Wish I'd been able to communicate with Ja in a way to understand that what was happening and adjust myself accordingly. I think when it became more apparent that she was like, I think I calmed down a little. I did make an effort to calm down a bit, and I think I did. Um, and, it was like, I think everyone, whether that was me or just a general thing or how early we started, we all just kind of called it at about the right time. John and I had already said, like, how much longer, and I said, can we be here for one more hour? And we were getting to that 9:47 part where um, our host said, yeah, I'm kind of ready to be done, guys, just to let you know. And it's like, okay, great, we were all kind of on the same page there. I do feel like, I think I'm maybe a part of being a little over intense that kind of rushed that to an end. So it's something to keep in mind in the future if I ever if I ever get invited back to anything like this again, or Ja wants to do anything like this with me again. Which would be a shame, but I also just enjoy being with these people, and luckily they've seen me both on and off of it, so they probably have more of a concept of when Ja was talking about that one night in Kingston when I had a coffee bean and I was like speaking mile a minute and I was just like completely frantic. You have a better idea of what that is. It's slightly embarrassing, but it was my honest reaction to the thing. And if the worst thing that I was just over talkative, that's hopefully uh, that's not that's not too bad of a thing. And we took a cab, very short bit of the cab with Monique, and then we took the cab home. I was able to kind of keep it together and be quiet. And then, when Ja let me know that's sort of what was going on. In the moment, she said, "Look, it's not about you." And then afterwards, it's like, "Well, no, it's kind of a bit about you." I'm glad she didn't tell me in the moment because I probably would have overreacted. Um, but feeling it right now, I'm like, okay, I'm not going into kind of death spiral of recrimination and I'm bad, I'm bad, I'm bad. I mean, there's always a little bit of that there, but it's also, you know, it's okay. I'm okay. I understand that I'm a contributing factor, not the whole thing. It's sort of just what happened with me. I'm really glad. Yeah, we came home. She told me that. I was like, okay. And we were able to just sort of sit down and watch some stupid light sitcom. Well, actually, not pretty smart light sitcom Superstore for a number of episodes without me just turning and unloading and yakking and yakking and yakking. Um, so, and I think about it. I think she'd had already had a day of being out with me and me sort of yakking and yakking and processing about work. So it's like it's not just the evening, it's just like me not on drugs. I'm still yakking and processing things. So we're able to go home. I was able to just sort of sit quietly and on the couch with her, kind of do a cool down, watching some sitcom, very easy, but not me not yakking at her. She's super tired. She's gotten into bed. That's good. She's going to have a good rest. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And I'm not going to freak out and think that nobody loves me or nobody wants to be with me anymore, anything more. You know, we'll probably have a little bit of a debrief just at at the dinner. It's good, nice that we're going out for dinner with. I don't think Tice is going to be there, but everyone else is going to be there, and get to meet Monique's new fellow. So maybe we'll get a little chance to just do a little check in on that and see how everyone else was. And you know, note that if anything, if we do this again, and if we do this again in the future, we can decide. It can we can think about that. Think about stuff like how to make it better. Because I think I was like, wow, it was pretty intense. It's interesting. It was definitely an evening where um, it didn't go as introspective and as emotional as it went the last time. I think a part of that is that the person that I got more emotional with, and we did more talking, kind of on a deep level like that, was doing something else. I can't remember, and it's not my business to be sharing it. It was doing something else. Um, I did a lot of talking with Tice, and it was felt uh, it was more abstracted on my side. On his side, I got a lot of kind of heartfelt stuff more about people around him than himself, you know. So, which was interesting, but that's his stuff to tell. So I'm not going there. Um, yeah, yeah. Got an interesting idea for work, oddly, over eating sounds, and you know, there's using music in the family setting. And it's like, oh, could you use just a sound machine, like a just white noise thing? Would that be something that might help in that situation? I don't know. It was an interesting idea. Not the end all be all. Something to just mention. Um, which I thought was, yeah. Just in the sense of, you know, as Tice was saying, like, you know, you brainstorm ideas. That's like definitely the way things go for stuff like that. You brainstorm, and you know, if my idea isn't the idea that works, but it sparks somebody else off into other ideas, that's definitely a good thought. It's funny, it was in the context of, like, you know, well, we don't like music at our house. We don't play music all the time at our house because it kind of messes with Ja. Well, I think, I mean, a variety of things going on for that this evening. So, yeah, yeah, it's it's kind of like I enjoyed myself, but it's also just like it's kind of sad there at the end that kind of not at the end, but you know that I could feel my love tightening up because it wasn't pleasant for her for a good hunk of that. And, you know, I want it to be that that's got to be a part of making things okay for us is us, not just myself. That feels that would be selfish, which I am not for the most part. Even though I got very much kind of into my own stuff there. Though it was enough. I was enough there that I did realize something was going wrong. I just, unfortunately, in that case, did not have the wherewithal to realize part of me being all concerned and pushing into her was causing more difficulty than it was. It was causing difficulty. It wasn't helping difficulty. It was being quote unquote helpful. Oh God, that's always Always the worst thing. All right. I don't know how well I'm going to sleep tonight. I didn't sleep well the last time. Um, I guess if I'm up at 3 and spinning around, I might just sit here and might chat some more, or I might just do something else. At the moment, I'm going to get some snack, and I'm going to get into bed. And yeah, it was just good to have this little bit of a kind of a cool down chat with myself, because nobody else wants to hear my fucking voice right now. That's goddamn sure. I really wore out some ears tonight. Um, yeah, yeah. And I'm sure they'd all say I'm a darling, wonderful guy, but boy, he sure the fuck talked. Um, yeah, he sure the fuck did. Surprise, surprise, says the guy who just obsessively is recorded at this point thousands of hours of him chatting on the phone or reading stuff out on the phone or all that sort of stuff. God, it's kind of somewhat embarrassing, but I guess that is who I am. And yeah, defeated all comers. And unfortunately, yeah, kind of overwhelmed my lovey, which I didn't want to do for my birthday. That sucks. All right. Good night. Talk to you either later tonight because I can't sleep or tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow.